Hey guys, I hope you're having an incredible day. In today's video, I wanted to go over a problem that my client was facing, which was they have a long list of postal codes that determine if the area is serviceable or not. And Vappy was having some hallucinations. And if you don't know what a hallucination is, it's essentially when the AI returns back incorrect information. So originally it was just a Google Doc. It would search the Google Doc for the correct postal code, almost like a knowledge base, and then return that information. And this wouldn't work 100% of the time. So it was pretty crucial that we got this fixed. And so what we did is we actually created a database. So whenever it goes to check that this area is serviceable based on the postal code, it then runs a postal code check. So that's what I've built out right here. And then it either returns that they do service this area or they don't service this area. So in today's video, I'm going to be running you through the solution that I used to fix this. And we're going to be showing how we can set that up either through Airtable or through Google Sheets. Now, this blueprint is available completely for free within the No Code Nation community. We're 241 active members and going strong, continuing to climb, building some incredible automations. And if you're interested in building voice agents yourself, I look forward to seeing you in there and contributing. So in the past, I've built almost all my agents entirely on Vappy. Today, I'm going to be diving into how we can build this on Retell. And the reason why I built this on Retell in the first place is because Retell has different states. So you have the general guidelines that the agent will follow during the call. And then within this prompt tree, you can have the different states. So you can see here, the initial state is just to greet the user. The following state is to determine if the customer's location is serviceable or not. And so today we're going to be looking at these two use cases specifically and how we can connect that to this database to be able to trigger that custom tool call that's going to search the database and reduce hallucinations to almost zero. And so I figured I would just demo this for you now so you can see exactly how it works. And I'm just going to hit run once here. And then we're going to speak to our agent. You can see the database here. So we'll just choose one at random, M1W, to show you that it does work.
Hi, Kevin. I'm Amy, an AI from Airtable. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So do you have any questions about water heaters or the ad you saw?
No, I don't.
No worries. Could you share the first 3 digits of your postal code so we can get started? I'll confirm it with NATO phonetics too.
Yeah, it's N8W.
Got it, EN as in November 8 and W as in whiskey. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Let me check that for you. Awesome. Your area is serviceable. Are you the homeowner?
And I'll just end the call there, but you get the idea, guys. So it came down here. You can see our tool that was triggered, the postal code prefix, so N8W, it confirmed it for us in NATO phonetics to make sure that it actually grabbed the right information. Now it came down this route because I have a few different tools, but this tool specifically is just the postal code check tool. So runs that postal code check, and then it searches this and looks for an exact match. The exact match is that it returned a result. And then there's a router, which is either come down here saying, hey, we don't service this area, right? So every tech does not currently service your area, or it's coming down this second path, which is it does exist. And it's just returning, hey, there's an exact match and the postal code is serviceable. So pretty simple. Great part is with this setup, you don't have to pay for Airtable because we're not using any of the more advanced functionality. So I'll show you how to build it out in Airtable, and then we will hop into Google Sheets, and I'll show you as well how we can build this out in Google Sheets. So let's build this out from scratch. So all you're going to do is you're going to hop in here, you're going to hit create an agent and then choose the multi-prompt agent. And we can just start from blank. And now that we're in here, you can just copy paste this system prompt that's in the community and we'll drop it right in here and we'll hit save. Okay, now we'll switch the welcome message to AI initiate. So AI begins with the dynamic message, and then we'll just set it to hello, how can I help you today? Then we're going to edit the prompt tree and just go ahead and create a new state. All right, so now we got our starting state. So we're going to rename this first state to greet user. So this is how I have it set up right now, greet user. And then once again, just hop in here and we're going to copy and paste that in. So it's really just to set a friendly tone, introduce every tech, and begin qualification. And then the key actions are to greet the customer and introduce your business, ask if they have any questions, and if they have no questions, ask for the first 3 digits of their postal code. So we're going to paste that in here, and that's pretty much it. So now we're going to create a new state. We'll bring this state down below, and we're going to connect the starting state, greeting the user, to this new state. And this new state is going to be the postal code check. Okay. And now for this, we can come in, we'll copy the second prompt, which is really determine if the customer's location is serviceable. So the key actions, we're going to validate the postal code. So we're going to repeat the postal code and wait for confirmation from the customer. Then we're going to check for an exact match. So upon confirmation, we're going to check for an exact match in the serviceable list. And we're going to run the postal code check tool. If there is an exact match, we're going to inform the customer, we do service your area. We're going to ask if you have any other questions. And if there isn't a match, we're going to politely inform the customer that we don't service their area and offer to schedule a callback. Okay. And then we're going to add in that tool. It's going to be postal code check, and you can give it a little description. So I said, check the customer's postal code is in the serviceable area. Then your URL is going to be in here. So hop into make. We're going to add a webhook. And so you would just hit add, hit save, and then that's going to generate your webhook. We're going to copy that address to clipboard and then hop back into Retell and paste it in here. And now we're just going to grab the custom function JSON request content. So you can see here, we're just specifying, hey, this is the information that's going to be passed. This is the pattern that we're specifying it in. So you can see here, it needs to either be like alphabet, number, alphabet. And so you could change this based on if you're US or Canada. And then the description is the first 3 characters of the postal code provided by the customer. So I'm going to copy that, head back into our Retell scenario, and we're going to paste in that. And then you can turn on speak during execution. And we're going to set that to let me check if we service your area. Okay, awesome. So that is set up. And then the last thing is we need to set up this edge case that's going to essentially be the condition that's going to trigger this transition from the greeting state to the postal code check state. And so the edge condition is going to be transition to the next state once the first 3 digits of the postal code are provided. And the call info as variables is going to be very similar. So once again, right here, we're using the transition edge function. So you can just copy that, head back into Retell, and then paste that in. And now you're set up to go. So now let's actually test this, make sure that we get some data through here. So you'll just have this webhook right now. We're going to go ahead, we're going to hit run once, and then we're going to speak to our AI agent. Now, one of the things, make sure you hit save too. One of the things that's really cool about this is if we hop into test LLM, we can actually just talk to it. And instead of having to waste our minutes on the call, we can just simply talk to it, and it's going to be as if we're having a normal conversation. So we're just going to say, hey, I'm great. I'm going to talk to it. Okay, so just hit delete. We're going to restart from the top. So do you have any questions about every tech or services? No, I don't. Alrighty. Could you share the first 3 digits of your postal code? I'll confirm it using native phonetics. Make sure I got it right. So it doesn't really matter what we enter in here because it's not going to return anything. Now you can see that it's transitioned to this next state, postal code check, the L for Lima, 4 and K for Kilo. Did I get that right? We're going to say yes. And when I hit send in a second, it's going to trigger this make automation. So now you can see here, we got the tool call, the arguments being postal code prefix right here. So that is the variable that we want. And we can just end this. So hit trash and it'll restart back on the current state. And so the next thing that we're going to want to add is a router. Hit plus, we'll add in you can go flow control and then just find router right here, just like that. And so then we're just going to set up a filter. So we're going to right click here. We're going to go set up a filter. And then you can see here, postal code check is going to be the label. The condition is going to be set to that name. So now that we've ran this webhook once, we'll see that within here, we should be able to see postal code check. And then we're going to set the text operator equal to postal code check because that's the name of the tool that we made within here, right? Our custom function, postal code check. So these names need to match. So we'll copy that. We'll head in here. We'll paste it in. We could hit OK. And so now it's going to come down this path. And this is where we'll create our Airtable database. So going to go ahead. You're going to create a new Airtable database. It's going to be set to postal code prefix or whatever you want to name it. And then you can just import some sample data. So I have this sample data for you. So you can just go ahead, copy this and paste it into here. And if you are using Google Sheets, then you can just fast forward to the Google Sheets portion of this video. So now that we have this information, the next thing that we want to do is connect to our base, find that table. So for me right now, it's called imported table. Then the formula is going to be the column name right? Postal code prefix is equal to, and then we are going to click on arguments and it's past that postal code prefix. And we'll paste it in here, surrounded by quotation marks, and we only want to return one result. We'll go ahead, we'll hit OK. So now we'll unlink this. And if we test this again, so now we'll hit run once. We'll speak to Retell again. So I'm going to say, good you. I don't have any questions for you. Can I share the first 3 digits? So let's say I did M4C and we'll say, yes, that is the correct one. We'll hit send. Boom. Okay. So now we got the tool that was sent. And once again, it's still going to say that we do service this area because it's not set up yet. But what we wanted to check is, hey, did it search our database correctly? And did we get some form of output bundle? So if you got any output bundle here, it means that it did correctly search your database and it should return total number of bundles equal to 1 and the bundle order position equal to 1. So now that that's done, we'll add in another router. And so lastly, we just want to say, send back a webhook response to our AI agent saying, yes, we do service this area because the postal code is an exact match, or it doesn't, and therefore we don't service your area. So we'll build the first path, which is going to be does exist. So the postal code does exist. And the easiest way to do this is if we were to search for postal code that wasn't in our list of postal codes, this is going to come back blank, meaning the total number of bundles is going to be equal to 0 and nothing will have been returned. So in this case, we're saying the total number of bundles is greater than 0. And because it's greater than 0, it means it does exist because there is one postal code. And then we are going to return back this webhook response where exact match is equal to true. And the message is this postal code is serviceable. And so once again, just come in here, copy this, and then we're going to paste it in here. And then lastly, we need to do the does not exist route. So does not exist, total number of bundles equal, numeric operator equal to 0. So if 0 bundles are returned, it means that that postal code is not an exact match, in which case we're saying every tech does not currently service your area. And there is a exact match equal to false, just like that. And so now lastly, we're just going to test it. So we'll hit the garbage. We'll restart from scratch. Say I'm doing well. Okay, let's dive right in. Awesome. Could you share the first 3 digits of your postal code? So now we're going to test the route of it does not exist. So these are your sample data. So I would say just choose one, a record that's not in this sample data. So I said H9J. That's Hotel 9 Juliet. Did I get that right? We'll say yes. Now it's going to run this automation. So if I show you the result of that automation, it came down here. You can see that the total number of bundles is equal to 0 because there was no exact match. Then it comes down here, does not exist. And if we hop into Retell, it says, it looks like every tech doesn't currently service your area. I'm so sorry about that. Would you like me to schedule a callback in case we expand to your location? And from there, that's pretty much mission achieved. And if I were to fire back and say, sorry, I meant my postal code was, and we choose one from the list. Let's say we do M4C now. It's going to run this automation again. And if I click back on our diagram, you can see it's now come down the proper path. It does exist. And Retell has fired back saying, we do service your area. Is there anything else I can help you with? Does work. Awesome. And then lastly, we're going to set up the automation with Google Sheets. So it's literally almost identical. We're going to set up this postal code check where the condition is going to be the name of our tool, right? The name of our tool being postal code check. And we're saying that the text operator needs to equal postal code check. So now it knows for tool call, come down this path, and then we're going to connect it to that spreadsheet. So make your connection to Google Sheets. We'll choose the spreadsheet ID right here. So find your spreadsheet. Mine is called postal codes. You can see I got the list right here. And once again, that's right in the sample data. So you can just copy paste that in. We have the sheet name being sheet 1. It does contain headers. And then the filter is going to be postal code prefix is equal to the postal code prefix. So we're looking for arguments, postal code prefix. So choose that one right here. And then we want to sort by order and set the limit to 1, meaning we only want to return one result if that result exists. All right, guys. So we're going to enter in one of the postal codes from the list. So M4C was one of the ones on the list. We're going to hit go. It's going to ask us to confirm. Now I went ahead and I hit run. Now it should send in this information and it should return a result. So we'll just say yes here. We'll hit send. And now good news, we do service your area. And you can see that it has returned a specific postal code that is in the list. And so then lastly, we're going to connect this to a router. And then same thing, the total number of bundles. We're going to choose it dynamically from the previous step in Google Sheets, search rows. And the numeric operator is going to be equal to 0. And then same thing for does exist. The total number of bundles, the numeric operator is going to be greater than 0, meaning if a result is returned back, there has to be a total number of bundles. And if that is greater than 0, it means that the postal code exists, there's an exact match, and we do service your area, at which point you're going to return back the postal code is serviceable. So if we run this one more time, now with the Google Sheets integration, and we start this from scratch, we'll have a little conversation. So I'm doing well. Got any questions? No, I don't. Now it's going to ask for the postal code. We'll say M4C. Now it's transitioned to this new state, postal code check. You did get that right. We'll say yes. Boom. You can see it came down this route, found that, and then it does exist. So it returns that the postal code is serviceable. It's saying, great news, we do service your area. And then if I say I accidentally gave the wrong postal code, it's going to ask again. I'm going to say this time something random, T4Y, and it's going to return. And I say yes. Now it's going to say, oh, we don't service that area because it's not in the list. Dang, we don't currently service your area. Would you like me to schedule a callback? There you go, guys. So that's how you can make agents doing tool calls a lot more robust to be able to search those specific postal codes or being able to search a database of information whatsoever. And you can do it with either Airtable or with Google Sheets. So if you did get value out of this video, I would greatly appreciate a subscribe. It's completely free. It allows me to continue making videos like this for you. And if you are getting started with no-code automations, I highly recommend you hop in the community. It continues to grow. I'm trying to make it the best that I possibly can this year. And you'll have access to a lot of great automations, both free automations in voice agents, as well as blueprints. And with that being said, I will catch you on the next one. Hope you have an incredible day. Peace.